Hello, BookTube, and welcome to your daily SF magazine. And this week is Astounding Science Fiction, April 1954. I chose it solely for the cover. I just love this cover, and it's in a very good condition. This issue as well. Now, as we found out in previous one talking about Astounding and Analog, it started in 1930 and it's still going today. 1937-38, John W. Campbell took over the reins of editorship, and it sort of ushered in the golden age of science fiction. And he was editor until his death in 1971, whereupon Ben Bova took over. Now, this one sort of doesn't have a huge amount of sort of remembered, I guess you would say, or science fiction writers who have sort of stood the test of time. They're more or less forgotten, I think. There's novelettes, Fighting Philosopher by E.B. Cole. That's Everett B. Cole. And this is part of a series of stories he wrote that they put together as a fix-up novel called The Philosophical Core. I remember liking that. I don't remember it that much, and I'd completely forgotten about it until I saw the entry in here. But I have fond memories of reading it, so it'd be something that'd be nice to reacquaint myself. And then Rite of Passage by Chad Oliver. Chad Oliver was an interesting writer. Not so sure if he was top-notch, but I'd have to revisit. He was an American anthropologist, and he taught anthropology, but he wrote a number of novels that were interesting, from what I remember, and short stories. And then we've got Robert Abernathy, The Thousandth Year. Now, he wrote a little bit of stuff during the 40s and 50s. Again, he's an author that's basically been forgotten. And then we got short stories, Marshmallow World by Joseph Whitehall. Nothing really, I don't really know much about him at all. And then there's Age of Retirement by Hal Lynch. Now, the Hal Lynch one is interesting because I think this is the Hal Lynch who was the actor as well, that was on a lot of TV episodes in the 60s and 70s. And he actually appeared on at least one episode of the original Star Trek series. And I'm pretty sure that is him. And then we've got articles, Wash Day -0, which I had to look at because it is about sort of washing out atomic radiation. And then we got To Build a Robot Brain, which could be very interesting, by Murray Leinster. We've already seen hugely prolific author with over 1,500 articles and short stories in science fiction, crime, romance. I don't think there was a genre he didn't touch. And he also wrote, I think, tie-ins to TV shows as well. There's the reference library here again with P. Schiller Miller. And I always like the Astounding book reference ones because they're quite long, and there's like a little overview of stuff at the beginning usually, and I like the little photograph or not photograph, but the drawing here. And he highlights some interesting books here because an interesting alternate history one that I really enjoyed. I'd like to reread it again. Bring the Jubilee by Ward Moore. And then we've got Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. We've got Ring Around the Sun by Clifford Simak. And he's saying it's on par with Cosmic Engineers, and that's from 1939, his first sort of short novel. And he's saying that it's not as good as City. Also, too, is highlighted the best science fiction stories, edited by Everett F. Blyer and T.E. Dickey. That's an interesting collection, and Blyer was an amazing, him and his brother they edited and also put out a lot of about science fiction. There's, again, ads for the Science Fiction Book Club But what I love is the ad on the front, the back of the front cover for the Shadow radio show on Mutual Broadcasting System. So yeah, so there's your daily SF magazine. See you next time.